Hey guys, this video is sponsored by Joker Machine, maker of supreme quality parts and accessories for your Indian, Harley-Davidson, Triumph, or off-road vehicles. Check them out in the link below. What's up everybody? How's it going? Brian at Two Indians here. I hope you're doing well today. I am finally going to be able to install all this awesome Joker Machine product back down here that I've got. New clutch and brake levers, brake reservoir covers, got a new shifter rod that we're going to be putting on today. We're going to put some floorboards on in place of the existing pegs. I'm going to show you guys how to do it, how simple it is. It's going to be super easy. First thing, make sure you order the shifter rod for the bobber, not the standard Scout, they are different. Then measure the distance between the adjustment nuts on the existing rod in place so you can make sure nothing changes between the old and the new rod. Now here I'm removing the front and back mounting screws, but after that I did realize it would have been easier to loosen the locking nuts on the rod first, but in the end it doesn't really matter, they do come off. Just remember that the threads on the shifter rod are continuous, so it will seem like the rear threads are reverse threaded. It really messed with my head at first, but you'll figure it out. Those are 1/2 inch nuts, by the way. I think that's the only non-metric thing on this bike. Next, double check your overall distance between the nuts and then line up the decorative part of the rod with the bushing holes so it's facing in the right direction when you mount it. You may want the notches facing out or up, that's all your call. Then just make sure everything is working and boom, you're done. I mean, doesn't that look 100% better? Heck yeah! So Barb also wanted floorboards, and because this bike is meant to be a bit on the edgy side, we thought nothing would look better than these wicked serrated pieces. They're narrower, so we'll get a steeper lean angle and they won't be scraping as much as the factory pegs. Now this is really straightforward, but you're going to want to use a pick like this to pry the little retention ring off. If you don't have a pick, then I'll put a link down below for a pick set that I use. I mean, you could use a chisel, but that's so barbaric. There's also a couple set screws on the bottom so you can adjust the angle of the floorboard. You need to leave enough room to get your toes under the shifter. And of course you can always adjust the shifter rod to raise the shift peg if you need to. And make sure you don't confuse the right and the left floorboards. They need to be able to flip up after you put them in place. Piece of cake, the whole thing took me about 5 minutes. Originally, we selected these matching Joker Machine pegs, but Barb was worried about comfort while shifting, so we opted for the factory Indian Select toe pegs. I have these on my Springfield and they're super comfortable when shifting and they look very nice. Now these can be a bit of a mystery at first glance, but all you really need to do is take a razor knife and carefully slice away these rubber sleeves that cover the actual peg, and then use a vice grip or something to unscrew the peg. Installing the new peg is as simple as screwing it back in with your basic Allen or hex tool, and I like to use a little Loctite on these as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that with the floorboards and the shifter rod. Alright, for the brake cylinder covers, it doesn't get any simpler than this. Just pull the existing screws out. I cleaned off the diaphragm while I was at it, and then just run the screws right back in. Same for the top. No need to bleed the brakes or anything. And we're just going to repeat the same steps for the other brake peg and the floorboard. Piece of cake. The fudge. You see what I'm saying? Something always happens. Our power went out. So now I just had to open the garage door where it's even hotter than it was in here. Now I'm going to keep working on Barbara's bobber. Barbara's bobber. Okay, so we got the shifter rod, floorboard, shifter pegs, and brake cylinder covers done. Now it's on to the scary stuff. The brake and clutch levers. Ooh, don't be scared, it's easy. Check it out. Alright, it's worth noting that year by year the design for these levers has changed.
That's what we call camera work, folks.
But essentially you're just going to pull these nuts out, and you've got to pull this little cap off on the current models, and then put an Allen or hex head in there, I think it's a 5mm, and just back out the set screw, try not to lose it, and then it just pops right out. The new one is just going to slip right in place of the old one. It just snaps right in, and you're going to reverse the process. You don't have to worry about bleeding the brakes again. Screw it back in, and everything's going to work. Piece of cake, you're done. Okay, for the clutch lever, all you've got to do first is just loosen up the mounting bracket here and slip it further away, because otherwise you won't be able to get the lever out. And then again, you've got to pull off that little cap so you can get access to the Allen head, and unscrew the Allen head, and a nut will fall off the bottom. And then this is the tricky part. You got to pull it a little bit away from the housing there, and then once you just try to unwedge it from that mount, you'll see that that little retention ring has to come out of the bracket. And then slip that little peg thing. I don't know what you call that thing, but whatever. Anyway, you'll figure it out. You just slip that back in there. There is some tension on there, as you can see. And then once you get it back in place, it's real simple. You're just going to reverse the process with that set screw that runs through the clutch lever. Put the nut on the bottom, and then you're going to put the little plastic trim cap on top, and then re-secure the mounting bracket back into place. You also might want to sit on the bike and feel where the clutch lever is for your hand, because you can rotate it up and down from this position and while it's loose, and you don't want it to kind of feel weird on your hand when you get back on the bike. So it's that simple. Wow. All right, guys, thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I know I definitely learned something. I learned how easy it is to take off the clutch and the brake lever. I was really kind of worried about doing that. I hadn't done that on a bobber before. But I think everything turned out great. I hope you agree. Give Joker Machine a look. They've got some great product, good value, great prices, and what I like most and what's most important to me, build quality. That's what I like, all right? So check out Joker Machine. They got great stuff, and it's easy to put on, as you can see. All in all, I think this probably took me about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and a half or so to do all these items, so that's not too bad. And in the meantime, we lost power today, and I've been working on a special project that you're gonna get to see in just 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2. Are you ready for something you've never seen before? My backyard. Check that out. Yeah, this is my backyard. It's not that exciting, is it? But here's my grill. Look at that. Woo! Put some chicken wings on while I was working on the bike. Slow cooking these puppies. They've been on at least a half an hour. They probably got another half hour or so to go, but I'm excited. That's all. That was my little surprise. How do you like that grill hut I built? Huh? Did that myself. Yeah, pretty handy guy. Thanks for watching today, guys. See you.